Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Las Vegas Live. I'm your host, Adam Torres, and each and every week I bring you the top 10 things to do in Las Vegas. You can come check me out in person this week. I will be at the Bellagio on July 7th. You'll see a link in the show notes where you can click on it and grab some tickets. Come out and see me. I'd love to meet you in person. Before we get into this week's top 10, I want to give a shout out to VegasNearMe.com. Let me tell you, I'm coming in from LA and going to Las Vegas this weekend for the 4th of July weekend for 250-year anniversary of America and to go see these fireworks. It's going to be insane. And what did I do? The first thing I did was I went to VegasNearMe.com. I looked at their events page. I looked by day and I wanted to see what are the major events that are happening, what days, what are the minor events, how do I buy some tickets, and what's the benefit of going to VegasNearMe.com? Well, this is the big benefit. Everything's on this site. It's 65,000 plus pages of Las Vegas content. So what you may not know if you're shopping on other sites is other sites, the only thing that's going to come up on their site are things that they're making revenue from. So for example, you're not going to see a bunch of free events or other events where maybe they don't have a ticket or revenue deal that causes them to put it on the site. Now, that's not what's going on with VegasNearMe.com. You can literally see everything. I even saw a couple of free events. I'm going to go to the World Series of Poker and walk through the casino there at Paris and check that out. I was like, oh, this is great. All the times are there. It's accurate. I was able to book a full 4-day trip to Vegas, actually longer. I think I'm there for 7 days. And I got all that done in less than an hour. That's insane. I'm talking about shows, dinner, what to do in between, even audibles, different things I can do just in case there's more time. So before VegasNearMe.com, could I do that? Absolutely not. No way. You know how many sites you have to look at, and then you don't get all the information. Check it out. VegasNearMe.com. That's where you want to go before you book any reservations, any hotels, buy any tickets in Las Vegas. Go to VegasNearMe.com. Now let's get into this week's top 10 things to do in Las Vegas. Number 10, Las Vegas Aces. The defending back-to-back WNBA champions host 2 home games this week. Saturday, July 11th at 1 p.m., the Las Vegas Aces take on the Phoenix Mercury at Michelob Ultra Arena from $25 a day game on the most event-dense Saturday of the Las Vegas summer. The game is done by 3 p.m., which leaves the entire evening open for everything else Saturday has going on. UFC 329, Chesney Sphere, Mary J. Blige, Martin Lawrence, the fireworks. The afternoon Aces game is how you fit championship WA basketball into a Saturday that's already packed. Sunday, July 12th at 6 p.m., the Aces host the Indiana Fever from $112. The Fever are one of the most watched teams in the WNBA this season, and the Aces Fever matchup at Michelob Ultra Arena is a genuine marquee game. VegasNearMe.com has both games listed. Number 9, Jimmy Carr plays the Encore Theater at Wynn Las Vegas on Friday night on the Laughs Funny Tour. Carr is one of the most globally successful stand-up comedians working today. His UK specials and Netflix productions have built him an audience that spans every English-speaking market, and his touring show sells out arenas and theaters on multiple continents. His style is built on precision. Rapid-fire one-liners delivered with a timing mechanism so well calibrated that each joke lands before the previous one has finished registering. The Laughs Funny Tour has been reviewed across its run and some of the sharpest material he has performed in years. The Encore Theater at Wynn Las Vegas, around 1,600 seats with excellent acoustics, is a genuinely ideal room for this format. Intimate enough that the connection between performer and audience is direct. The full Wynn property around it, Friday, July 10th, 8 p.m., starting at $76. VegasNearMe.com has the listing. Number 8, Martin Lawrence Lit AF Tour at Resorts World Theater. Martin Lawrence brings its Lit AF Tour to Resorts World Theater on Saturday night, and for the comedy audience, this Saturday recommendation, man, this is it. Lawrence is one of the most commercially successful comedians and film actors of the past 3 decades. Bad Boys, Big Mama's House, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, The Martin Lawrence Show. His stand-up has always been characterized by a specific energy, high volume, physically committed, deeply personal about relationships, family, and the specific experience of growing up and growing older as a Black man in America. That connects with audiences across generations. The Lit Af Tour has been reviewed at every stop as one of the most energetic and current shows in years. Resort World's theater seats 5,000 with good sight lines and strong production capabilities on the north end of the Strip. Saturday, July 11th at 9 p.m., starting at $98. VegasNearMe.com has the listing. Note the 9 p.m. start, late enough that UFC 329 main card attendees who leave T-Mobile Arena after the fights can plausibly make it to Resort Worlds for the show. Number 7, World Series of Poker 2026, final week at Horseshoe in Paris, Las Vegas. The 2026 World Series of Poker enters its final week at Horseshoe in Paris, Las Vegas, and this is one of the best stretches of the entire 7-week series to walk the floor as a spectator. The remaining bracelet events draw elite professionals competing for the last gold hardware of the summer. The atmosphere at Horseshoe during the final week is distinct, the same energy as the beginning of the series, but charged with the knowledge that this is the last chance for any player to win a bracelet this year. Prize pools are large, fields are serious. Here's what most people don't know. You can walk in off the Las Vegas Strip and stand within a feet of some of the best poker players in the world for free. No ticket, no reservation. Walk into Horseshoe Las Vegas and the action runs from 11 a.m. each day. Players from more than 100 countries have been competing in the building since May 26, and the final week concentrates the best of what remains. The World Series of Poker wraps July 15th. VegasNearMe.com has the World Series of Poker listed with the full schedule at WSOP.com. Number 6, NBA Summer League. Every NBA team in Las Vegas. The NBA Summer League is in Las Vegas this week, and for the basketball fans, this is one of the most unique sporting events the city hosts all year. Every NBA franchise sends their draft picks, young roster players, and undrafted free agents to Las Vegas for 2 weeks of games in July at Thomas and Mack Center and Cox Pavilion on the UNLV campus. This is where you see the next generation of NBA talent before they become household names. The 2026 draft class is competing this week, and the first round picks, the names that will define the league for the next decade, are playing live in Las Vegas for a $72 ticket. The NBA Summer League has grown into a destination event in its own right over the past decade. General managers, coaches, agents, and media from every team in the league are in Las Vegas simultaneously for the full 2-week run. Multiple games per day, Thursday through Sunday, each session running 3 to 4 hours with back-to-back matchups. The atmosphere is different from the regular season. Smaller rooms, closer to the court, and the specific energy of young players trying to make their careers. From, again, $72, VegasNearMe.com has the Summer League listings with the Thomas and Mack schedule. Number 5, Mary J. Blige, My Life, My Story, Las Vegas Residency. Mary J. Blige opens her Las Vegas residency this week with 2 performances, Friday, July 10th and Saturday, July 11th at Dolby Live at Park MGM. My Life, My Story is the full arc of her career told as a single evening. From the earliest Real Love and What's the 411 era through Be Without You, Family Affair, No More Drama, Not Gonna Cry, Just Fine, and the more recent material. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Grammy winner, the only artist in history nominated for both Best Supporting Actress and Best Original Song for the same film. The residency format gives Blige something her touring production cannot, the ability to build an evening specifically for this room, this audience, and this stage. Dolby Live at Park MGM holds 5,200 seats with consistently excellent acoustics, and the venue has become one of the most respected R&B residency stages in Las Vegas. Friday, July 10th and Saturday, July 11th, starting at $137. Vegas Near Me has both dates. Kenny Chesney at Sphere, final week of residency. Kenny Chesney's Sphere residency ends this week, and Saturday, July 11th is the final performance of the entire run. 3 shows this week: Wednesday, July 8th, Friday, July 10th, and Saturday, July 11th are the last 3 opportunities to see what Sphere has built with his catalog before the production closes. No Shoes Nation, She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy, There Goes My Life, The Good Stuff, American Kids, I Go Back. This residency has been one of the most celebrated Sphere productions since the venue opened, and closing night on Saturday carries the specific energy that last shows always do. Wednesday, July 8th is the most accessible night. No competing arena events. The city is in fight week mode, but the building itself is focused entirely on this show. Friday and Saturday compete with Fuerza Regida at Allegiant Stadium, UFC 329, and the full Saturday Convergence. Wednesday is the quiet recommendation for anyone who wants the Sphere experience without the crowd pressure that the weekend brings. And Saturday closing night is for anyone who wants to be in that building on the last night this particular production runs. From $105, VegasNearMe.com has all 3 nights. Number 3, Fuerza Regida. This is our dream tour at Allegiant Stadium. Fuerza Regida plays Allegiant Stadium on Friday night, and this is the largest single concert of the week. This is Our Dream Tour brings one of the most commercially successful regional Mexican acts in the world to a 65,000-seat stadium for one night. Fuerza Regida from San Bernardino, California, by way of Sinaloa, are the band that pushes corridos tumbados into mainstream consciousness with a catalog that fuses traditional Mexican regional music with contemporary production, trap rhythms, and a lyrical authenticity that has built one of the most passionate fan bases in Latin music. A Fuerza Regida stadium show is a specific kind of energy. Tens of thousands of people who know every word of every song in a building where the production scale matches the size of the catalog's ambition. Allegiant Stadium is the right room for this. The Las Vegas Latin music audience is enormous, and this show will draw from across the southwest of California. Friday, July 10th, 9 p.m. from $113. VegasNearMe.com has the listing. Number 2, Saturday, July 11th is the most event-dense single night Las Vegas has produced this summer, and it deserves its own entry. The day starts at 1 p.m. with the Las Vegas Aces hosting the Phoenix Mercury at Michelob Ultra Arena. Back-to-back WNBA champions, $25 a ticket. Then the UFC 329 main card fires at 6 p.m. at T-Mobile Arena, McGregor versus Holloway, the biggest combat sports event of the year. As the fight ends, the rest of the Saturday night opens up simultaneously. Kenny Chesney at Sphere at 8:30 p.m. for his closing night of the entire residency. Mary J. Blige at Dolby Live at 8 p.m. for the second night of her opening weekend. Martin Lawrence at Resorts World Theater at 9 p.m., late enough that UFC 329 attendees leaving T-Mobile can make it directly to the show. That is one afternoon sporting event, one championship fight card, and multiple simultaneous evening shows on a Saturday night in Las Vegas. The only decision that needs making is which of these is your evening. And that brings us to number 1. The top thing to do in Las Vegas this week is UFC International Fight Week. Dana White's UFC takes over Las Vegas this week across 3 consecutive nights. It starts Thursday, July 9th at T-Mobile Arena with the UFC Hall of Fame induction ceremony at 7 p.m. The official opening night of International Fight Week. The class of 2026 inductees are honored at T-Mobile Arena in front of the entire MMA community. Current fighters, legends of the sport, coaches, and fans. It is free with a Fight Week wristband that puts you inside T-Mobile Arena with the people who built and continue to build the sport. For anyone who wants the Fight Week experience without the price of a UFC 329 ticket, Thursday night at T-Mobile is where it starts. Friday, July 10th, Power Slap 21 takes the stage at the Chelsea at the Cosmopolitan at 6 p.m. The main event is Dempster versus Dubois. Power Slap is a professional combat sports league created by Dana White and produced by the UFC. Built with the same organizational seriousness and production infrastructure that White brought to building the UFC itself, ranked athletes, structured divisions, broadcast production on TBS. The sport, 2 competitors, alternating open palm strikes, judged on power, technique, and the ability to withstand impact. White didn't create Power Slap as a sideshow. He built it as a serious professional league, putting the same organizational energy into it that he put into making the UFC what it became. Power Slap 21 at the Chelsea is a full professional card with ranked competitors across multiple weight classes. From $254, if you've seen Power Slap on television, this is what it looks like in the room. Then Saturday, July 11th, the main event of the International Fight Week, UFC 329 at T-Mobile Arena, Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway II. McGregor is making his long-anticipated UFC return after a 3-year absence. Holloway is the undisputed featherweight champion. The first fight in 2017 went to a controversial McGregor decision that most observers thought Holloway deserved. The rematch is one of the most commercially significant UFC main events in the organization's history. The main card is at 6 p.m. Pacific. Tickets start at $564. VegasNearMe.com has all 3 listings. That wraps up this week's top 10 things to do in Las Vegas. Don't forget, before buying any of these tickets or booking any travel, go to VegasNearMe.com to compare listing, to compare prices, and to get it done. I'm your host, Adam Torres, and I will see you next week for the next top 10 things to do in Las Vegas.